This is WFO Radio.
Well. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Joe Castello back with you here, 4 o'clock-ish, as we get ready for the weekend. Hopefully you are getting ready for the weekend. And we decided to jump on, go a little WFO, and just see what happens. One of those shows where we kind of kick it with the audience out there, take your thoughts on NHRA drag racing. I know we got the Jegs Sports Nationals going on up there in Epping, New Hampshire. And, maybe we'll have a guest or two who pop on unannounced, or maybe there's people that I've connected with and maybe they will join us if they can. Who knows? We will see. But if you're out there on Facebook, if you're out there on Twitter, you Periscope users, remember Periscope? Wow. Do you remember Meerkat? That's the one that I started out with, Meerkat, which is now House Party. For those that have a kid that is playing Fortnite all the time, and they got the House Party going on. Meerkat became House Party. Periscope crushed them both. But now, does anybody even Periscope anymore? I don't think so, because you can go Facebook Live. But we on WFO Radio use it to broadcast to our Twitterites. And I know you're out there, all you Twitterites. And it is all good. And so, questions in the comment section, all of that stuff. I have got live scoring up and ready going on from the Jegs Sports Nationals. You see Top Dragster is on track as we speak. So I'm excited about that. We'll keep you up on all that stuff going on. We had a great interview with Jeg Coughlin yesterday. So great that it has made the front page of NHRA.com. Do it right now. Go there immediately and check it out and click on it and look at it and just rub it all over yourself. NHRA.com. Check it out. Jeg, what an interview it was. It was, he won the race, but we got to dive into his life, his career, show some old photographs, have a lot of fun. It was really, really cool. We had a good time. Now, before we go any further, everybody knows that on WFO Radio, we're plugging stuff. We're plugging all kinds of stuff, sponsors and people that help us and people who have been very cool. Free stuff for you, like WFO stickers, Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. We're down by Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida area, southeastern Florida, beaches and sun and fun and all of that. And if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, where are they? I'll send you some WFO Radio stickers like these, and you can put them on your toolbox or if you wanted to put them on the glass of your car, you could. If you want to put them on the paint of your car, you could do that too. I don't know if my dad would ever do that for me, but the glass, definitely. And I'll send you some stickers. Really cool. We also got the face covering deal dialed in now. It's dialed in. We're loaded up with these face coverings. They got them at nitrofishracing.com, and you can get them part of a combo pack with our WFO shirts. But really, if you just go to WFOradio.com, go to the WFO store, because everything is WFO, as you've figured out, and you can get a face covering for $10. Do it. Try it out. It's all over our social media. I was messing around with the PayPal earlier today, diving in, figuring things out. It's pretty fun and funny, the ineptitude. But we got it dialed in. So if you want a face covering, we now have it super easy. Go to WFOradio.com. We see people are already dialing in, man. They're already out there. Jim Norris thought the Jeg interview was one of the best. Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that. Not me, Jeg. He was. Awesome, Joe. Fantastic interview. I guess that's the reason it's up on competitionplus.com and NHRA.com, or maybe those people just like to help out WFO, which I think is probably the most accurate version. Dugenet out there. What is that? Great placement of the mic, Joe. Really? At first doing this, I thought, keep the mic out of it. But then I started to see some other people, and they had their mic, and I've got my mic, and this mic is a pretty expensive little prop right here, so might as well put it in on the screen, and I sound better. And this is my natural mic technique, so I don't have to rethink or relearn anything. So we'll dial in, be talking a little NHRA drag racing. Do want to say thank you to people like Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. Found out just a couple of days ago I'll be at the Denso U.S. Nationals, and we've already dialed in with Matt Hartford and the Total Seal team that we're going to do a new Inside Pro Stock bit for NHRA's social media. So I'm excited. Am I going to get to fire up the car again? I don't think so. But are we going to do something informative and fun? Absolutely. And what is the point of it all? so that even the average listener knows that Total Seal is cutting edge technology from stock Eliminator to Formula One. And if they've got a friend with an engine shop or a friend who's building a bracket engine, or maybe you're an engine builder out there yourself, guy like, let me just pick one off the top of my head, like a super intelligent, highly intelligent guy like Gary Stinnett, for instance. They're like they should be using Total Seal piston rings. You're responsible for many engines out there, thinner, lighter, better, more horsepower, etc. TotalSeal.com. Go to their website. It's brand new. Check it out. Got good stuff going on. And I really appreciate them using WFO as a way to get the word out. That's something really cool. Frank Hawley's drag racing school, the Dragster Adventure, and Frank and Lana Hawley doing amazing things for drag racing over all these years. When they first started, it was one of my goals to go to Frank Hawley's drag racing school and maybe get my super gas license. Now, that happened organically. And so, like this guy, check. Doing the burnout, Frank out there, arms folded, overseeing, watching. They'll get your mind right. And maybe you want to learn to drive a super gas car, or maybe you want to do the Dragster Adventure. That's up to you. They even have the Dragster Adventure Challenge where you and your friends can start racing each other. And think of the bragging rights for something like that, and the ridicule. Not just the bragging rights, which is the upside, but the ridicule. You could ridicule your friends forever, having beaten them at the Dragster Adventure. It would be worth paying for it for everybody to be able to do that. Or maybe you just want to learn how to race the right way, the mental side of it. Frank can get you straightened out on that as well. FrankHawley.com. Do it now. Also, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. We always say start your education at full speed and talk about Factory Stock Showdown, but what is the point of their sponsorship of all of these things? Well, that is a good question. It's about the next generation of engine builders, fuel injection tuner, machinists, people who know how to do and build and make with their hands, people that keep the race cars on the track. Samtech.edu, they're approved to train veterans under the GI Bill. And that fade out's a little slow, isn't it? But that's all right. Samtech.edu, really appreciate those folks. And they've got a great school down there, Houston, Texas area, and they have financial aid. You got to call them. Call them and tell them you heard about it on WFO radio. Like Castello is really hawking this stuff because he believes in it. And Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com, the hot sauces and spice rubs, everything good. If you're in Fort Worth, I recommend you call them and swing by. 817-924-6821. You'd think I'd have his phone number on the screen by now, but we're, slow incremental progress here on WFO, but we're always steady, Eddie, moving forward. And he's got a neat little showroom there. It's also like an auto restoration shop in many ways. And he's got Traxxas cars to play with, but you saw Marvin on the show a few weeks ago. Really what it is, he's a really nice guy and he's going to roast coffee fresh for you. And there's so many blends coming from all around the world. It's worth trying. Even if you're from far away, get yourself a pound of coffee sent to you. And if you're from up close, go there and get one of those Primo ceramic grills with a divider inside. It is all great stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of people out there ready to comment in, but I love drag racing. And as I mentioned, we got timing and scoring up, but that's not nearly as cool as having the actual track announcer of the event who is out there, Mr. Brian Loans. Brian,
what's happening, man? What's going on?
Great. I'm look at that. You're in your old bedroom. Isn't that nice? Yes. Show us the sign.
Dan Pomponio right there.
Hey, what's up, Danny? How you doing? That's bonus.
See, here's Jody.
Jody. Oh my gosh, everybody.
Jim Bowen's in the back playing a game that I guess I probably can't show you because.
Wait a second. That's Moan.
Watching this, I don't know what he's doing back there.
Let me see Moan again. Let me see him.
Jim Bowen. Look at him.
Okay.
He's actually monitoring our D1 TV feed back there.
All right.
He's making sure the D1 TV, and we're now simulcasting, I believe, on NHRA.TV for this weekend, too.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Jegs Sports Nationals, this is a big race, and so they need a big announcer. And nobody but Brian Loans really gets to be inside there anyway, right? That's where it all started for you.
This is the spot. Yeah, this is it's cool to be able to be home and do this, and it's neat. I mean, obviously, I think Topeka was the plan for this week on the Mellow Yellow Tour, but that ain't happening. So this is not even the next best thing. This is the best thing. It's really fun to be up here and seeing a lot of friends.
And you sleep in your own bed and you hang in your own house and you get to hang with the local racers, something that we kind of wasn't really on the board, and you get to do it anyway.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. And my son, Tom, I'm going to swing home tonight, pick him up, and we're going to put him to work as like a runner tomorrow. So it'll be his first official work day in drag racing tomorrow.
Put him on the mic, man. Put him on the mic. Get the next generation going.
That's it.
Somebody's
going to make a living around here.
So let's talk about the Jegs Sports Nationals, and that this is a very important race for our, grassroots sportsman racers, Lucas Oil Series racers. And we got the Jegs All-Stars coming up at the Big Go in a few weeks, which I was happy to announce that I'll be there. This is national event level for them. We just don't have nitro cars around. But if you win the Sports Nationals, that's huge.
Well, it is huge. I mean, you go into the record books as a national event winner. Anthony Bertozzi's here, which is a big story in and unto itself. He won the Sports Nationals in top dragster in Columbus, Ohio, and he currently leads the national points. So for Anthony to make the tow all the way up here, he's competing in super stock and in top dragster. He wants to win what would be his 25th national event, and he wants to he is chasing the national points in top dragster. So it'll be interesting to see if he can kind of pad his lead, which he does have a pretty significant lead on the field right now nationally in the points.
Now, what is on track as we speak? It could be a snowmobile, it could be a motorcycle. I'm just guessing.
It's Competition Eliminator. So you were close.
Listen to that. Love Competition Eliminator.
It's too blown out.
Yeah, it's don't show us the ceiling of the tower. Keep the camera down a little bit. You're ruining the But now tell me about that place, Brian. Like, it's easy to say this is where you got your start. You've been doing such a great job with the NHRA TV and all these interviews and keeping people interested and entertained. I think that's where we first met, like right where you're standing. Yep. And this is a part of the country that's underserved with drag racing for how much they love it. And that track is the epicenter.
Yeah, it really is. This is the only quarter-mile track in New England proper. We have Lebanon Valley Dragway, which is in New York, in far eastern New York. It's really only about, 30 miles west of the end of Massachusetts. But as far as the actual proper New England goes, this is the only quarter-mile drag strip there is. We have Winterport Dragway in Maine. There is also Oxford Plains Dragway in Maine. Those are both 8-mile facilities. And then south of us, the closest place you're going to go is basically Atco. So it is an important place for drag racing in this part of the country for sure.
Yeah, and we got Frank Afrani and Pete Dagnolo on track now. Yeah, I just should look at the live scoring, and I'll know what category is on the track, and that's cool. Available at NHRA.com. And
Joe, this is something you'll appreciate. So in the first round of comp qualifying, it was like this dream scenario for the announcer because we had a 2010 Cobalt that was a super modified car, and we had a 2010 Cobalt that was an altered. So we always spent all our time trying to explain the differences of these cars. And we actually, for the one time in my life, it happened side by side where you said, listen, look at that one. That's an altered. Look at this one. It's super modified car. One is a factory body. One isn't. So I've never actually, I don't think, had that happen before in comp. So it made my life easier for the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So Comp Eliminator, it's like the class that the most diehard of diehards love. And it is the most challenging to explain to the newbie. Right. And so you're like just the alphabet soup, supermods versus altereds, and just thinking about all the removable front ends, et cetera, all of these different things. But to me, that's fun. It gives a person a reason to go back and look at the car.
No, it's absolutely true. And, we have some great combinations here. A lot of 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder cars here, including one that is a literal V8 with 1-cylinder head on it. It's like, so, it's the cool class. If you love cars and you like, people thinking out of the box, obviously that's why we like Comp Eliminator, just because so many other drag racing classes have kind of found the formula, and in comp you get to make your own formula that you feel fits the rules the best, and that's what makes it's like land speed racing in a lot of ways, but drag racing.
Speaking of which, land speed racing, I know that was going down like a week or so ago. Did you get out there? I know that's your thing every single year.
I did not go to Bonneville this year because we were racing that third Indy event, and I wouldn't have gotten out there really until Tuesday. And because of everything going on in the world, the fields and everything were pretty small this year. So I took a year off. I listened to their live audio stream from home, listened to the Speed Demon go 481 miles an hour, making it the fastest piston-powered vehicle in the world. A lot of neat stuff happened, and a small group of cars, but a very good group of cars were out there.
No, that's great that they were able to get it in. All right, let's look ahead a little bit to the Denso U.S. Nationals. I don't need total analysis, by the way. This is more of a fun thing, but we're not drinking.
Sure.
We're working. But it's not happy hour, but it's definitely cash. But, I get to come back. I'm excited. The return to normalcy is progressing, not totally. Yeah. But this is going to be such a huge event. We've got the Mickey Thompson Pro Bike Battle, and we've got the Jegs All-Stars, and we've got, of course, the extra final round from Indy 2, a first-time Top Fuel winner. We just don't know who it's going to be. And the season, it's kind of weird. It's winding down. Champions, if you're going to make a run at that championship, you need to be near the top.
Yeah, I feel like, for me, hold on one second. It's kind of loud.
Santo Volpe. My goodness.
Little blown altered out there. That guy, nice 682 at 193. That's a cool car.
Yeah, man. Double A.
I think a really important point that is getting lost a little bit in this whole thing is that, and there's a huge rumor that the NHRA is just going to fold it up after Indy, which is a giant fallacy.
Attack it.
I think the honest answer is the plan that I know of, that I have some knowledge of, I guess, is that Indy would basically mark almost a halfway point for the number of races that want to be run this year. So, yes, in some ways you need to be there right now to be in the championship hunt, but you are effectively at a halfway point in the season. Now, you're not going to have a countdown to help dig yourself out, but if you want to be a factor and you're not in it in the next race or two, it's going to be a lot tougher. But I feel like if you're somebody like a Steve Torrence that needs to climb back in, he does have time to do it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I want to let you go because I know you got to work, but you may be able to see that in the upper portion of our screen. We got the Nitro Ninja up there, and this is your first time on WFO since what we have described as one of the tragedies of our lives in drag racing. Dom's still in the hospital. Richie is at home. I actually texted him a little bit today. Jake is at home. We're all praying for Dom. There's good charitable things happening. I just wanted to give you an opportunity. You're at one of the tracks where the Lagana family is loved the most.
One of my favorite moments in my whole life of drag racing happened here, and it was many years ago where Dom and Bobby were match racing each other, and it was the first time they ever went 300 miles an hour side by side was an event that me and Mike Williams were calling. It was a Saturday night match race here. I'm not sure if it was the funny cars under the stars or the jet cars under the stars, but it was an incredible moment because their dad was still alive, their mom was still alive, the whole family was here, and everybody just went berserk. And having known them, I cut my teeth doing this in the IHRA, so they were a huge part of everything that went on in the IHRA, and their spirit, their soul, however you want to say it, I've known that for many years, and it's a very difficult thing because Dominic is, you meet a lot of people in drag racing and a lot of people make an impression on you. And Dominic was one of the guys that continues to be one of the guys that is like, you don't really think of anything bad ever happening to a guy like Dominic, right? Because he's the nicest guy you ever met. He would help and has helped so many people. I've seen the effect his kindness has had on other people, and it's just, it's a brutal thing. And to your point, I don't think there's a single person in drag racing that isn't praying for the guy right now and doesn't want to see a recovery for him, to the extent that we all want.
Absolutely. And it's the thing that I get to hang with Dom a lot. We're both Yankee fans. I know you're a Red Sox fan. We busted your chops, gone back and forth, baseball, whatever. But this is the thing that I think about first in the morning and last when I go to sleep. Like, man, our friend is dealing with something very serious. And, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit with you. Brian, thank you very much. Have a great time out there. Please give our best to everybody. And we'll, as soon as we jump off the air, we'll say, there goes Poe. What's up? Former drag racer, Danny Pomponio, the fam. the fam. This guy, he switched to the other side, man. He used to be an alcohol funny cartooner. Now he's a, division.
He's back here screaming orders at us all day. Call this, call that. What's wrong with you? It's all we hear all day long.
How is he, Brian? He can't hear you. How's he doing? Is he doing okay? Is the kid doing all right?
He's doing really good. No, he's doing a nice job.
Good job. Brian, thank you very much. Thanks for killing a little time on WFO. Get back to the drag racing. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much.
You bet, Joe. See you at Indy. And just like you said, just keep praying for Dom. Absolutely.
100%. We got it. All right. Later, Brian. Take care. There goes Brian Lones, voice of the NHRA. Bang Shift editor, great person, good friend. And I love the fact that there's racing going on. Jay Schoenberger is on track right now with his eye altered, and Al Ackerman. Yeah, it's making me a little, the Jones for the drag racing a little bit, right? Now, are you guys aware of the NHRA? I never use timing and scoring. I never use it because I'm at the track, but you can follow the timing and scoring right on NHRA.com. Hopefully everybody knows that. And he mentions it's on NHRA.tv. Don't go anywhere, though. You got to bring it up on another screen. Now, we do want you to use the comment section and find out exactly what's going on. Like Jeff Rice says, hi, great job. And Daryl, prayers for Dominic. Certainly. Randy Lynn is scheduled to come on the show soon, in a few minutes. And they've gone into the next gear. We mentioned the GoFundMe account. I'm mentioning it every day, and we'll continue. They're at 180,000, which is great, but not really, because it's, the thing's been shared like 8,000 times, and we've got like 670 donors. Am I using guilt a little bit? Oh yeah, guilt. Yeah, a little bit. Like, we need some more donors, small donors. Get in on that. But medical stuff is just so expensive these days. But there's also the nitrofishracing.com has got t-shirts, which we're going to be talking about a little bit. Not just that, though. Randy Lynn got a big bracket race win not far ago. Look at this, 140, 141, 142. Let's see, Steve. There it is. Just got the WFO app notification. Late weird. No, it's not. It's, I set that thing to go out at 3:50 and it goes out at 4:15. And, it's a computer, man. You don't know what it's going to do, what it wants to do. Jeff's dream, win the lottery and race comp until it's gone. Comp's gone or the money's gone? I understand where you're coming from. Comp Eliminator, Fast Eddie Federkyle, my friend who runs for Strutmasters, who has a former Chris McGahey B altered automatic, will be running at the Chevrolet Performance US Nationals. Going to be on the show next week. Ed Firefighter, good guy, bracket racer from Miami Hollywood Speedway, the tree in the back. And just loves the class. And it's one of those things, like even me, and I don't mind sharing my weaknesses. It's just part of life, like doing rapid fire index math while also talking and entertaining on the mic. It sometimes trips me up. And then you've got Bob Fry in the back of your head saying, don't talk about CIC. Never talk about it. But it's one of the coolest classes in all of drag racing because there are no limits to the creativity. You can create something and they will find a spot for it in Comp Eliminator. And Comp's making a little bit of a return. It's just like anything. Like, nobody wants to go out there to lose and put a lot of time and effort into a combination that, didn't work out. But there are more comp cars back, and it's kind of interesting. And, if you can be 60 under, it's not as good as 70 under, but if you can be 60 under, you can do a lot of good. And the driving skill, guy like Rampy, clearly. But what they are doing, cut a light off the bottom on a split tree. Okay, that's tough, period. But then manage your index, win races that you can win, but maybe lose races that you can win because the greater good and all your investment will be damaged. And make those calculations in thousandths of seconds. That is what's cool about comp. Like, maybe you can win this run, but you're going to mess yourself up now for more events. And sometimes you got to push in the clutch if there's one. So there it is. But good point there, Jeff. Simple as that. Let's see. Wait, what's Daryl say? Give plasma? Yes. Well, not just for Dom, for everybody. That's a thing that is generally good. Like charitable giving and being charitable is something that it would be great if we all did more, period. Not just when it's somebody we know, because if we all did something like that, when it is somebody we'd know, there would be less need, if you understand what I'm saying. Ricky's out there. I'm on time sitting in Ontario, California, right near Pomona Auto Club Raceway. Oh man, it was ingenious when I first figured that instead of going into LAX, I need to go into Ontario, and my life changed. It's like, wow, this is great stuff. Top Sportsman now on track. Let's see. All right. David, My heart goes out to Dom Lagana family. And also, I want to thank you, Joe, for keeping us and all the NHRA family for keeping us in the loop. Love what you do and are doing. Thank you, WFO Joe. Oh, man, that's super nice. And I really appreciate it. And yes, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I would be doing. I love the sport, as you know. I got to be a guest on another podcast yesterday, which is out and it's available. And it's not like this because uncomfortable situations and asked questions about me and my life and all that stuff. Sam Smith does it. It's called In the Groove, and it's out there and it's on social media. I shared it on my Twitter earlier today. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun sport. There's no real downsides to things when they go normal, but when things are out of the ordinary, like what we're dealing with Dom and Richie and even Jake, it's very intense. It's very extreme. This family community that everybody has built, and we always talk about it. It just hits home. It's like these are things they hit home. All right, Edwin, who asks all kinds of great questions. I'm ready for 8-time Top Fuel champ, obviously Tony Schumacher, to come back for 6 races and going rounds. So coming back, guaranteed. Going rounds, I hope so. Tony is a very unique character, and imagine if. Let's think of a baseball player who had such great success and then for whatever reason wasn't on the field anymore, but could still play. Like, what is that all about? Like, you think about Tom Brady. All right, let's make the analogy to football in that, Tom Brady can still quarterback. He is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. But due to weird circumstances, there's no team for him to race on. And so Tom Brady is sitting at home. What's that all about? And that's basically what we've been dealing with Tony Schumacher. One of our greatest, most well-known, most successful, most revered stars, who also does a great job in interviews and on the mic as an ambassador for the sport. Oh, yeah, we're not using him. We're sitting at home, just waiting around. That's what we've been dealing with. And it's confusing to a lot of people out there. But that's the nature of motorsport. Like, you got to have the bucks to run the cars. These cars are expensive. These comp eliminator cars that were just on track, and now Top Sportsman, which is now on track. Like, everything you see that goes down the racetrack at a national event, it's all big money, except for McNeil Freeman's taxi cab, who told us he's got like 10 grand wrapped up into the thing, and he loves it. And that's my hero, McNeil Freeman. But that is a different story. If you want to go professional racing, it's going to cost big money and you need big sponsors. And they just weren't there after a 20-year-long relationship with one sponsor. Bringing on another sponsor proved to be challenging, and they were working on it. But the good news is Tony is going to be back for 6 races. And, some of the DSR affiliated companies with all the work that they're doing in machine shops, etc., are going to get some B2B coverage. And I think Tony will be great at that. Tony Schumacher is, if you're a fan of the Army, you love Tony Schumacher. If you're one of these people like me who, it might seem like I'm a front runner in that I like the New York Yankees, and the front runner status has gone down the tubes now with Ferrari. At least I can say that. Ferrari being in the cellar and kind of stinking on ice right now in the Formula One world. At least I'm not a front runner. But if you appreciate greatness and success and the people who go out there and just do it year after year at a very high level, that's Tony Schumacher. And so whoever he reps, they're going to get an A+ job. And so I'm looking forward to having him back and, speaking with him. And 2 races in the middle of a bizarre season, that's not real. 6 races in a row, you're going to see real Tony Schumacher. And what, $1 to donuts, a low commitment bet. I think he's going to get a win. You heard it here first. And first, both. Let's see. Daryl says COVID-19. Just a scary reference to COVID-19. If you separate your comments by too much, I won't know. I won't know what you mean. And so you got to give me some reference. Let's see. Shave off the beard, says Derek. Oh, gosh, I agree. I'm anti-beard, man. I've been saying this for years. We're not in the 1920s, and we are not in other parts of the world. We have razor blades here in America. And I know everybody wants to take a vacation from themselves and grow a beard. I saw Seinfeld. I get it. Big handlebar mustache, but enough with the beards. Thanks, boss man. That was a blast. I'm hoping that was Brian Loans. Do not see his Facebook. There it is. That will be A-Rod. Always talking about A-Rod. A-Rod has got a great TV job. I get it. We're taking a shot at A-Rod. So happy to hear that Tony Schumacher is back racing, and maybe Tom Brady's wife would sponsor Tony. She could sponsor anybody. And speaking of sponsors and she's who are very helpful to lots of people, let's bring her on. Miss Nitro Fish. Nitro Fish.
Hey, Joe.
Randy Lynn. Hey, Randy
What's
Lynn.
going on? Hey.
Good. I'm so good. Happy that you could join us. I really appreciate it. I wanted you on for two reasons. The first reason is you won a big money bracket race. You got a big check, 5-figure bracket race win in your stock Eliminator car. That's the genesis of this interview. Of course, you help us with Nitro Fish Racing and our shirts and all of that stuff. So that's always a bonus to have you on. But when you win a big money bracket race and win 5-figure, get the big check in a stock Eliminator car, that's a huge accomplishment. So let's talk about that first. Give us the lay of the land. Where and what was it, and how'd you do it?
It was at the Charlie Bohannon Memorial Race that Tyler Bohannon, his grandson, puts on, and it was at Ohio Valley Dragway, right around Louisville, Kentucky. And if you've ever been there to race anything bottom bulb, we always say, like, if you can win there, you can win anywhere, because everybody there's pretty tough, but especially when they have big money on the line, people come from everywhere.
Yeah, I can imagine. So it was a bottom bulb race, but bottom bulb doesn't mean all door cars necessarily. So give us a lay of the land in terms of the competition, and you go out there with your stock Eliminator car and take it all down.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was like a stock super stock combo. So most of them were like, stock super stockers. Everything just we started out the morning, it was kind of crazy. My seat belts were expired, and I guess we didn't pay any attention to it. So it was like running around like crazy, Daryl trying to get them in. And, from that moment on, though, once it was all fixed, it was like things just kept going my way. I drove decent, but, you always have to get those lucky rounds, and that's just kind of what happened. It was almost, I told Bo at the end of the day, like, I started thinking back at my different rounds that I had, and I said, it was just like winning a national event. Like, even some of the super stock guys that I ran, those are names that you see in the final round at NHRA Nationals. So that's what it felt like. It felt like I won a national event at the end of the day. It was very cool.
And the check, a nice, healthy check, but it's not even the money. It's the big check, the Happy Gilmore style trophy check. How many of those do you have on your wall? I know that.
Believe it or not, that was my first one. I've never won any, even when I win a national event, I don't have any stickers, so I never win any money. But this is very cool because, Bo has like the world championship check, and then he has a lot of factory stock showdown checks. And Daryl and all them were making jokes. They said, we're going to come in Monday morning and she's going to have that crooked, like covering up all of Bo's checks. So I did not do that. I haven't found the right place for it yet, but it'll be front and center. Well,
it is. Those are the most amazing trophies. People out there need to realize, like, the Wally, of course, it's a Wally. It's unbelievable. It's 3-dimensional. But for a bracket racer or someone that cares about that kind of style of racing, stock, super stock, combo racing, eliminate, to get a big Happy Gilmore style check is as good as it gets. And social media, driving around with it, pretty amazing. Tell me about the final round. What was the race?
I had Matt Alvey, and he's a local around here, but runs a lot of national events. Usually, I guess I see his son in the lanes and stuff. We haven't got to run yet. This is only, I think, his second year in stock. But Matt runs a super stock, so we've never really had to match up. And, going up there, it had gotten dark, and I block a lot of times. So I was a little bit nervous about it being nighttime. And but I've been practicing a lot. I practice at our shop. I turn out all the lights, and I got one of the new medium style porta trees. If you haven't seen them, they're very cool.
Yes,
they're like bigger than the practice tree, but half the size of the giant ones, and it fits nice on my wall. So I've just been turning out the lights and hitting the tree a lot, and I think it's paid off because I've hit the bottom bulb a whole lot better than I could have imagined lately.
I love it. Well, a big win, tremendous. Congratulations. I think it's great. That's the reason. That's the prime reason I wanted you on the show. But since the thought and the win, you guys have done something amazing that is right in line with what, we have been talking about. which is, and you could probably see on your screen, the Nitro Ninja up there. Dominic, who had been on our show, Dom and Bobby came on for a happy hour, and these are some of the nicest people that I've ever met. And Dom is in need right now, need of help. And there's all kinds of different things that people are doing. And you guys jumped in to help with nitrofishracing.com, have received an overwhelming response. We talked about the shirts yesterday and the day before, so people know to go to nitrofishracing.com and hopefully not use any promo codes, because the money all goes to Dominic. But you've gotten an overwhelming response and a lot of work now ahead of you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, none of it was my idea. I don't really, I know Dom just through friends. I'm friends with Yanni Lindbergh and, Steve-O and a few others. And Dom is a friend to everybody. Like, like a lot of my friends are his friends. We just have never really crossed paths to hang out. And so when this whole incident happened, it was actually the guys that work for Clay Milliken. It was Kenny and Chris that were originally wanting to do the shirts. They have a 2-color press in their basement, and said, we want to do some shirts. We need a place to sell them. And so I talked to them, and Katie, who is Kenny's girlfriend, she works in the trailer a lot. And Katie called me, and we're like, yeah, like whatever I can do to help. So after we had probably, we had like 500 orders in like not even 24 hours. I was like, oh my goodness, you guys, we're going to need we're going to need more help than just us. So, they're pumping out shirts after work every night, all the hours of the night, all day Sunday, they were pumping out shirts. So we're getting them done. It's just, it's taken a little bit. So I called the guy that prints a lot of my shirts for the t-shirt trailer, Scott at Classic Graphics out in California. And then he's going to do another run of the shirts, so we can try to get them out to everybody before Indy. I know a lot of people are coming to Indy and they all have big plans to wear them around, and that's going to be great for everybody to see the support around Indy. So we want to try to make sure we get everybody their shirts by the time Indy comes. Even if people are just sitting around watching it and, want to post a picture to give them some support, sitting in their chair and watching it on TV.
Exactly. And it's incredible. Everyone needs to go to nitrofishracing.com and get the Lagana Strong Nitro Ninja shirt. And to me, I don't know if I told you this yet, but I've been informed that I will be at the Big Go and, running around. Yes, I'm super excited.
I did not know that. That's great. We're glad to hear it.
I'm back, baby. And, I had doubts, honestly, like the sport, maybe it has changed forever. And so I'm thrilled that I get to return, and we're going to do some NHRA social media. We've got some stuff we're going to do. But as soon as the shirt became available, I immediately you got to be in that shirt the whole time. Like, hopefully everybody is in that shirt. Like, I not to make more work for these guys, but like if we could put 10,000 of them out there, like we got to do it. Everybody knows how expensive anything medical is and beyond, and everything is going to help. So like your labor though, like my gosh, man, like all the work, like the people don't realize I'm sending out masks here the other day. First of all, everyone needs to know that these masks, Randy Lynn is the one who had these made. Like I was like, oh, I'm being mad. She's like, you think masks are a good idea? I was like, yeah, I guess. So they're masks. And next thing you know, they're here. That's because of Randy Lynn. So just think about that if you love WFO. But I'm sending these things out, a couple of them, and it's work. Like this work, so it takes time to get everything right. You want to make sure. And so you guys have taken in a big task, and I just want to thank you for doing it.
Oh, well, that's kind of what the racing community does. When one of our soldiers are down, everybody pitches in, and it's, the Torrances in general are one big family. Anybody on the racing circuit, like whether you work for the Torrances, whether your Mama Kay takes care of all them, and they are one big family. But, even outside their little family, they have, the rest of us that we see how tight-knit they are. They're all very close, and I know this is going to affect a lot of them. So anything we can do to help, then we're in on.
That's great. All right, give me your U.S. Nationals preview. What are we looking for out of you? Because what's the deal? There's modified class eliminations or something. I saw that headline. Give me your super stock Randy Lynn preview, because you are the big co-host star. You and Lou of the K-Stock Automatic Heads Up Final Round video I put out last year. We talked about this a couple of weeks back, and I don't know how it's going to get better than that, but maybe it will.
Yeah. Well, actually, Austin has been texting me today because he is like in he's been debating for days, like which stalker does he need to bring, his orange Duster or the Camaro that he won in last year. And he's like, well, I feel like the Camaro deserves to come back. Like we won. And so, yeah, I think he's decided on that one. But I think Indy is going to be very different. I hope we're allowed to have more fans. Not having class, they kind of, I think because the low car count right now, they've added some kind of class, like the second qualifier.
Yeah.
The top 2 cars are going to run. That's not really class. That's not, I think it's really affected the car count. It affects the feel of Indy. Like you want to be a fast car in Indy. You want to be in that teardown barn and showing your stuff, and you want to go out there and race on Saturday morning after putting it together. And I think that that's going to be a whole different feel. I mean, with that being said, we're all itching to race, especially in nationals. So thank God we're all even invited for stock, super stock. We've had to miss a lot of races. So we're just going to go with the flow, but it's going to be good to have everybody there and it be, the real Indy this time.
Well, exactly. The real Indy. And we've had a lot of pre-Indies and tune-ups, and I got to watch several. Hey, Brian's got a question for you out there. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. How long is Bo going to run Ricky's nitrous car?
Well, actually, Ricky is back for Indy this race. So
okay.
Bo will not be in that car. He's kind of up in the air. He has another potential that he might do. But if I had to guess, he'll probably run Pro Stock and his Super Comp Dragster. Unless something changes, and you never know with him. Every day's a surprise when you're with Bo Butner. But I'm going to run stock and super gas. Our crew chief, Daryl, his son's going to run stock. My sister will be in super stock. So we'll have one crazy pit area with all kinds of cars going everywhere.
Awesome. Randy Lynn, thank you very much for jumping on WFO. Thank you for what you're doing for Dominic.
Anytime.
And I can tell you, like, if you ever had doubt, which I know you don't, but this guy is as good a person as there is, positive energy, trying to be helpful always. And I was talking to Joe Morrison, qualified top fuel racer, said the night before Dominic came over, got their clutch straightened out. Just amazing story. So there's so many people in the pit area. You don't always get to meet everybody, even if you're there every single weekend. It just doesn't always work out. But this guy is worthy of all the energy everybody's sending him. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, if you don't believe it, you can go read their Nitro rules. Their Nitro Ninja rules, I think it was. I think Scuba Steve the other day posted them, or one of his buddies. And I was like, if you had, like you said, if you have any doubts, you read them rules, and you're like, that's really what they're all about. That's very cool. So
don't hate. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Randy Lynn, thank you very much. Say hi to Bo. I'll see you in a few weeks. Thank you for what you do on WFO radio with our, various helping stuff. And but this one is the biggest and the best. So congratulations. Obviously enjoy the check, put it up on the wall in a big prominent location.
Absolutely. Let's do it at Indy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Better.
I got to get somebody to help me with my video for the final round of stock, but that'll be fine.
My sister doesn't talk as much as me, but maybe if you get a drink or two in her, she might try.
We will work on it. I'm sure she'll be very nervous, probably more nervous than she would be at that moment. Yes. Randy Lynn, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
There she goes. Randy Lynn Ship, nitrofishracing.com, Rocket Ship on Twitter, and just doing such a great deal. Such a great deal. All right. Put those comments in the comment section, everybody. Like, what's Bobby Bennett say? I guess I'm not special. LOL. Well, Bobby Bennett is super special. Too bad you're late, Bobby Bennett, because I already mentioned Competition Plus has got our Jeg interview on. That's what you get for showing up late. That's fine. And Courtney Ender's out there with what is under? Oh, that's my microphone. The Black Hearts out there. Hi, Courtney. How are you doing? As like, I'm not doing a Friday show again this week. But if Courtney's out there, this is the vibe. The idea is like maybe we get a happy hour going. If Jason is up there at the Big Go, maybe we get an on-location happy hour going. Social distance, of course, or off-site. Brian Brewster saying thank you. Run it all, Bo, says James Kraft. Let's see what Brian also says. And up there, looking forward to the Nationals. Yeah, well, I think we all are looking forward to the Nationals. This is the biggest drag race on the planet, and the year that has been just a nightmare year for everybody, one way or another, whether it be, normalcy. Courtney says she's always in. That's good. I like that attitude, Courtney. I like it. Always in. I got to get Courtney and Randy Lynn on the show together and then check out and just watch it. That is also one of my plans. So, ladies, if you're out there still watching, let's figure out how to do that, because I think that will be very entertaining for the audience. It would be certainly interesting. Very knowledgeable racers. All right, well, you got your final comments in the comment section. I do want to remind you once again, nitrofishracing.com for the Lagana Strong shirt. Our WFO stuff is there as well. And they had so many orders, but what Randy Lynn is talking about, everybody at the U.S. Nationals, everybody that's there, everybody that's home, tweeting photos of themselves rocking the shirts, like that is something that everyone will appreciate. And so do it. Also, I'm WFO Joe. Follow me, and I'll give you certain information, etc. I saw that one of our listeners, Apple Podcast, Spotify, that's where you get the WFO podcast. We're closing in on 100 reviews and rates for our podcast. That matters, right? Apple's got all these algorithms for which podcast is good, and if a bunch of people go on and write a review and rate 5-star podcast at the same time, their computer thinks it's obviously a big deal. So we're closing in on 100. We'd appreciate if you did that. The same is true for YouTube, youtube.com. Subscribe and click that bell. Please, 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 as you get in your comments in the comment section, because we're almost out of here. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, very helpful to me. Frank and Lana Hawley, appreciate them. Samtech.edu. We've got that Factory Stock podcast. Speaking of Factory Stock, got a final round going to run, all that stuff. And Hidden Horsepower by Total Seal also. Speaking of podcasts that needs ratings and reviews, I'm giving you a lot of homework, but I always do. You're used to that by now. Total Seal Piston Rings and Marvin Rodak, Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. Really appreciate everything they do for our show. Just jumping on here on a Thursday, getting everybody a little fired up. Speaking with Brian out there at the Jegs Sports Nationals. Those are up on NHRA.tv, and you can definitely go watch. Also live timing on NHRA.com. Big story, the Jeg interview. Front page NHRA.com. How cool is that? If you want some free WFO radio stickers, Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. And I'll throw some stickers and send them to you. I got some going to Randy Lynn as well. So if you get a nitrofishracing.com WFO t-shirt, hopefully she can throw a couple of those in there. I'm making so much busy work for Randy Lynn. It's terrible of me. I'm a bad person. But yes. And if you go to WFOradio.com, we've got the WFO store up there with links to Nitrofish Racing and a direct buy if you want one of these face masks. And I'll do it and, throw some things in there for you. All right, final comments. Let's see. Monica, thanks for the show. Simple as that. That's it. That's the final comment. Works for me. It's been a great week, everybody. I really appreciate what you've done. Alan Reinhart was awesome, and Jeg was incredible, and obviously Randy Lynn and Brian Loans and everyone who helps out this show. Share the show. That's all I can ask you. We're trying to grow, and the only way to grow is to let people know about WFO. Did I just rhyme? I think I did. How about that? All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.